I've lost about 50 pounds and kept it off for 8 years now. And I've coached hundreds of other people to lose thousands of pounds themselves. So in this video, I'm going to share 10 daily weight loss hacks that I've used to keep my weight off and others have used for success as well. Let's dive in. Hack number 1 is going to be really leaning into lazy meal options. Now, in a perfect world, I would always take the time to cook a proper low calorie, low fat, low carb, high protein meal or meal prep all my stuff and have it ready all the time. But let's be real. I'm a father of 3, a married father of 3 who runs a business. I have an 8-year-old. I have a 3-year-old. I have a 6-month-old. And life is just crazy sometimes. And so there's going to be those times where I don't want to take the time to make a full-on meal, but I also don't want to sabotage and go off plan or have a big cheat or something like that. So having lazy meal options that take 1 to 2 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes max to throw together that are still low calorie, high protein saves my bacon so many times. So here are a couple of my favorites that I lean on all the time. One is to do a protein cereal like this Ghost PB. I love this brand. They have a Cinnamon Toast Crunch version. They have a Lucky Charms version. This is kind of like peanut butter Captain Crunch. I'll take 2 cups of this and put it in a big bowl with 8 ounces of a fat-free, ultra-filtered milk like Fairlife milk or like Kroger Carb Master vanilla milk. And I'll end up with a giant, tasty bowl of protein cereal. It's over 40% protein. It's under 400 calories. It just tastes so good, and it's such an easy meal. Another thing I love to do is to find some, let me switch hands here, is to find some of these low-calorie microwave meals that are under 300 calories. So I love these Kevin's frozen bowls. Better Goods has a bunch of options that are under 300 calories that have a decent amount of protein. Healthy Choice has a bunch of options. And I'm basically finding meals that are under 300 calories and have around 20 grams of protein in them. And then what I will do is I'll throw those in the microwave and then I'll just pair them with an additional 2 to 3 ounces of a pre-cooked grilled chicken. Like this is the Just Bare oven roasted chicken. This stuff tastes so good. Here's a Tyson version that I keep around. This is just their diced chicken breast. So I'll pick one of these, throw it in the microwave, get it going, 3 to 4 minutes, and it's ready. Take 2 to 3 options, throw this in the microwave for a minute or 2, pair the 2 together, and now I have a meal that is around 400 calories or less, super high protein, and it took no time at all. And I've got all these different flavor options that I can fill up my freezer with a few of these options, and they save my bacon so many times when I'm either too tired or just don't have the time, or I don't want to take the time because I'd rather spend that time with my kids or doing something else. So lazy meal hack options are such a cheat code when it comes to staying on track when you're trying to pursue weight loss or to keep weight off. Hack number 2 is going to be no-brainer grocery swaps. Now, I basically have gone through my entire kitchen and my entire life, and I have swapped out every item that I possibly can for the highest protein, lowest carb, lowest fat, lowest calorie versions that I can find. For example, I will, instead of eating regular bread, I'll eat a 0 carb bread like this Lewis Keto cinnamon bread. 0 net carb, tons of protein. I swap things like peanut butter out for PB2. Half the calories, almost no fat, lots of protein left. Lots of great options there. I will swap chicken tenders out for a great super high protein, lower calorie, lower fat option of those. And I could give you example after example after example of this, but the point is when you systematically go through your entire kitchen and you swap everything out so that everything is optimized to be low calorie, low fat, low carb, high protein, high fiber, high flavor, then pretty much anything you make with those ingredients is going to be on plan. It's going to be so much easier to stay on track. My last video was a grocery swaps video, 50 of the best foods for fat loss that I eat every single day. So if you missed that video, go and check that out. And also down in the description of this video, I have a free easy grocery swaps collection that you can get for free. It has a lot of my favorite swaps in there. You can go in, there are links to Walmart, links to Kroger, all that stuff. You can find those. And it has the best ones that I choose from and use every single day, rather than me just showing you every single one. Catch that video and then go and grab that for free. I think you're gonna love it. Make those swaps and everything becomes so much easier. Let's move on to number 3. Now, hack number 3 goes beyond just making the swaps in your kitchen, and it gets down to making sure that you're keeping your kitchen stocked with staples that you eat all the time. So for example, you're never gonna come into my kitchen and open up a cupboard and not see protein bars, right? I've always got protein bars. I have always got my Premier protein shakes because I use these for creamer in my coffee every single morning. I've always got in my refrigerator some form of 96% lean ground beef because I make smash burgers literally every single day. I've always got fat-free American cheese singles for my smash burgers. I've always got 0-carb breads. I've always got these low-calorie, high-protein chicken tenders. There's a list of probably 20 items that I order every time I do a grocery order from Walmart or go to the grocery store. Onions, peppers, and I know exactly what those items are, and I'm always going to keep them stocked. So if I even start to get low on those items, I'm ordering them before I run out. And why? It's because always having those items allows me to probably make anywhere from 15 to 20 different recipes or throw together meals of all sorts of different variations just by keeping those things stocked in the house. So definitely make sure that you kind of know what are your fat loss grocery staples that you love to eat all the time that you can use in a bunch of different meals and a bunch of different recipes to have a lot of variety, and keep those stocked in your kitchen at all times so that you're never in a predicament where you're like, crap, I need to go to the grocery store. I don't have anything in my kitchen, so I'm just gonna eat junk food, or I'm just gonna DoorDash something that I shouldn't be eating, right? So make sure you have those stocked in your kitchen. I always do, and it saves me so many times. Hack number 4 builds on the last 2 even more, and that is going through and reinventing all of your favorite meals and foods in a way that is high protein, low carb, low fat, low calorie. I am not the fitness coach or the fitness influencer who is just eating 18 variations of grilled chicken, rice, and broccoli all the time, just with a different condiment. That's not me. I want to eat smash burgers. I want to eat pizza. I want to eat tacos. I want to eat French toast. I want to eat ice cream. I want to eat pasta, all those things. And so this is where my cookbook came from. I basically just, for my own benefit, started creating my favorite recipes in a way that was calorie controlled, low carb, low fat, high protein, high flavor. So for instance, if I would take a 0-carb bun, like the Lewis Keto Hawaiian bun, and pair it with 3 to 3.5 ounces of 96% lean ground beef, throw on a slice of a fat-free American cheese singles, maybe saute up some onions and peppers to throw on there, and then put on some sugar-free barbecue sauce or my favorite is some Taco Bell fire sauce on that smash burger. Then boom, I now have a smash burger that tastes absolutely amazing. And it's got probably 40, 45 grams of protein in it. And it's under 300 calories, which is just bonkers when you start to think about that. Or same thing, if I want some pasta, I grab a cup of Goodles twist my parm pasta, throw it with a few ounces of sauteed shrimp, chop up some onions and peppers, and throw some seasoning on there. And now I have a super indulgent, low calorie, high protein pasta recipe that just tastes amazing. And so systematically, I go through all of my favorite foods and make them into recipes, and I put them in my cookbook for my clients as well. And then now I have this massive menu. I think I probably have 160, 170 recipes now in our client cookbook, the Healthy and Whole Cookbook, that are all dialed in for high protein, low calorie. And now I can just pull from that menu all the time. And so if you just started doing that yourself, then you would end up with this massive menu of your favorite foods, and you wouldn't feel all of that food restriction that you feel when you jump on a diet and you're like, oh my God, if I have to eat grilled chicken and rice and broccoli for another day, I'm gonna go absolutely bat freaking crazy. So start coming up with recipes for your favorite foods. And if you want to have a little bit of a shortcut to that, you don't have to put all that effort in yourself. Down in the description here, I've taken 55 of my favorite recipes and my clients' favorite recipes from my cookbook, and I've put them into a best of the Healthy and Whole Cookbook Volume 1. And so there's 55 plus different, I think there's 58 recipes in there. They're all 400 calories or less, at least 40% protein, no more than 10 ingredients per recipe. I source everything from Walmart, so it's easy to shop for and find. I think the average ingredient count is 6 to 7 ingredients per recipe. And I won't put a recipe in there if it takes more than 15 minutes to prep and cook and be ready to eat. So dive down into the description if you want to jumpstart your menu, grab that. And I promise you, you will love the recipes in there. And if you don't, just email me and I'll give you a refund. Now, hack number 5 has been setting up a daily meal plan that actually works for me in my life. Now, there's all sorts of people out there on the internet that are gonna tell you that you shouldn't skip breakfast because you got to fuel first thing in the morning, and that you shouldn't eat after 6 p.m. or within 3 hours of bedtime. And I would just say that's all completely hogwash. What I have found works best for me, and what I have found with all of my clients at Healthy and Whole, is that what's most important is that we just eat the right amount of calories and protein in a day, and it does not matter when you eat that food. So if it doesn't matter when you eat that food, what does matter is setting up your meal plan in a way that's actually enjoyable and makes sense for the kind of lifestyle that you want to have. So what does that look like for me? Well, I'm not someone who's super hungry in the morning, but I just want to get up and get to work and start getting a jump on my day and being productive. And then when I get to the evening time and I'm around the house with the kids and Joni, I like to kind of have a lot of my food and snacks and bedtime snacks and stuff like that in the evening time. And I think a lot of people are like that. So many of the clients that I work with say, oh, I did so good during the day, and then I got to the evening time and it all fell apart. And why is that? It's because a lot of times people are trying to, put all their healthy food during the day, and they're trying to not eat at night because some guru told them they shouldn't eat after 6 p.m. And so they're basically just trying to white knuckle it the entire evening instead of just making their day work for them. So for instance, with me, I don't care about eating breakfast. So I wake up and I hydrate and I have coffee with some Premier Protein in it for creamer. And then I skip breakfast and I skip any morning snacks. And I typically will start with a healthy lunch. And then I'll have a protein bar or something like that between lunch and dinner. I'll have a healthy dinner. And then I still have the calories that would have been my breakfast and that would have been my protein snack before lunch to still eat in the evening time as snacks or as, high protein snacks. And for a lot of the time, what I'll have is I'll have an entire pint of protein ice cream in my Ninja Creamy, which is from my cookbook. Or I'll have a big bowl of that Ghost protein cereal or something else because I saved all those calories from breakfast to have in the evening time, and I made it work for me within the course of my entire day without blowing up my calories. And what I did is I made a meal plan that works well for what I want to do and the life I actually want to live, which is to chill out with my wife and my kids in the evening time and enjoy some nice snacks before I go to bed. So I just recommend everybody just think about that and just say, you know what, it doesn't matter when I eat. What matters is that I eat the right amount of calories and I get enough protein, and just arrange your day in a way that makes sense for you, and you'll lose weight just the same because it's truly only the calories and the protein that matter. Is using a Wi-Fi scale like this one to help me track my weight accurately and efficiently. So I love using a Wi-Fi scale like this Withings scale because it simplifies the act of getting on the scale and tracking that data every single day. So I don't want to have to think about it. I don't have to pull out an app on my phone and stand on the scale and then open it up and manually log my weight. But I do want to track that data. Because you may have heard the saying, if you don't track the data, you can't control the data. And your body weight is the same thing. If you're not tracking your weight, I guarantee you it's probably moving in a direction that you don't want it to go. And 9 times out of 10, if you're not tracking your weight, it's not going down, it's going up. But if you track your weight on a daily basis and you learn to understand the daily fluctuations and what causes it to stand still and what causes it to go up and all of that stuff, then you kind of let go of the emotional turmoil that comes along with weighing yourself every day, and you start to understand the scale in a better way. We actually teach this in our course with our clients. We teach them, and I have videos where I've talked about it here on the channel to help you understand why the scale behaves in certain ways. But it's so important to track that data on a daily basis so that I can have a semblance of control over it. So I love the Wi-Fi scale because then I just get up, I take off my clothes, I jump on the scale, it weighs me, it automatically logs to my phone and tracks that data on a graph, and I don't have to think about it. And it just makes that part of my journey super efficient and something that I don't really have to worry about too much. Also, side note, you can tell how dirty and dusty my scale is. I really need to clean it, but who's got time for that? Hack number 7 is going to be taking advantage of smart movement opportunities and routines. Now, this could just start as something as simple as parking at the back of the parking lot when you go to the grocery store, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. But me and my wife, Joni, we take it a little bit further. And what we do is we heavily rely on a walking pad like this one. So I have this walking pad literally just here in the back of my living room. And I bought one of these to put in Joni's office at work even. So what this looks like is throughout the day, I will just put my computer right here and I'll jump up here and I'll turn on the walking pad. And when I am doing any kind of walking or any kind of work that does not require me to be super locked in, I'm answering emails, I'm doing administrative work, I'm doing stuff like that, I will jump on here and I will walk while I do that work. And I'm able to get a massive amount of steps in every day. And it almost virtually guarantees that I'm going to hit my step goal. Sometimes it will be long work sessions for 30, 45 minutes. Sometimes it'll just be 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. But if I didn't have this option, then on days where it's super rainy outside and stormy, or it's the dead of winter and it's frigid outside, I would be screwed and I wouldn't be able to get my steps in. So I highly recommend that you look for those opportunities, whether it's walking further when you go to the grocery store, but also invest in something like a walking pad like this one. Put it in your office, put it in your living room if you work at home, put it somewhere. That way you have an option no matter what that you can rely on to make sure that you have the opportunity to get your steps in, because hitting that 8,000 steps a day is such a crucial part of the whole calories in versus calories out equation. And if you're not hitting that 8,000 steps a day, it's going to be very difficult to maintain a calorie deficit and to lose weight. But then even when you get to maintenance, not being active means you can't eat as much food. And I don't know about you, but I love to eat food. And I want to be able to eat as much food as possible. And I never want to have to cut my food because I'm not being active. So look for those smart daily movement opportunities and routines and buy a walking pad if you can. All right, back to the desk for a minute. So number 8 has been finding and committing to my can't miss schedule. So when it comes to getting workouts in and knowing that I'm going to hit my step goal, consistency is everything. And I struggled for such a long time being able to be consistent with strength training and be consistent with hitting my step goals until I found and truly committed to my can't miss schedule. And I believe everybody has a version of a can't miss schedule for them that they just have to define and commit to. So what does that mean for me? Well, what it means for me is I get up at 4:30 a.m. every day and I hydrate, and then I either strength train or walk or run. And by doing that, I'm able to get up and knock out my workout, the majority of my steps, and or a run every single day before the rest of the house wakes up and then needs something from me, before the workday, before all of that. And doing this has not just helped me to become ultra consistent, but it also has reduced my stress load, because before I did this, I was walking through my day with this weight on me, this just low level of stress in knowing that, well, crap, Matt, you've still got to hit your step goal. You still need to get a workout in, and the day's slipping away from you. And then I would just keep pushing it to the next day. Oh, I'll get it tomorrow. Oh, I'll get it tomorrow. Until I just finally committed to saying, you know what is the version of me that never struggles with this do? And the version of me in the future that never struggled with this got up at 4:30 a.m., 7 days a week, didn't even think about it, and just knocked it out, ate the frog first thing in the day, and then the rest of the day is all downhill. The rest of the day is cake, right? So that's my can't miss schedule, but my can't miss schedule that I fully committed to works amazing for me. It may not work for you. So take my wife, Joni, for instance. That 4:30 a.m. Schedule is probably not going to work for her. It doesn't mesh with her personality. She likes to stay up. She's not like me. She's not going to bed at 9 p.m. at night so she can get up at 4:30 a.m. She wants to stay up after the kids go to bed and have some me time. That's where she crafts and she does yard work and she plants stuff outside. So she wants to stay up and enjoy that me time that she needs. So then she sleeps in the morning. And then she gets up and she gets the kids ready, and we do everything, we get everybody ready. And then she walks for maybe 10 to 20 minutes before she leaves for work. And then because we have a walking pad for her in her office, she'll find those little bite-sized opportunities to get 10 or 15 minutes here and there while she's doing mindless work at work. And then she will come home on her lunch break every single day and either walk or go out and do a strength training workout in our gym in the garage. And so that is her can't miss schedule. And so if she just realizes those pockets in her life where she can get those things in and fully commits to it instead of doom scrolling on lunch or doing other things, then she has been laser consistent, just like I've been laser consistent ever since I started my can't miss schedule in the mornings. So the question for you is, what is your can't miss schedule? If the future version of you, if you could pick up a phone and call them right now and say, okay, you figured this out, you stopped struggling with consistency, what did you do? They're gonna say to you, stop making excuses, you know where the pockets are, fully commit to it, this is your can't miss schedule, just do it. And then you say, okay, I'll take your word for it, and you do it. And you stop making excuses and you do it, whether that's getting up at 4 in the morning or 4:30, whether it's sleeping in and then finding those pockets in your day to do it on your lunch break and all that stuff, or whether it's focusing on other things throughout the day and doing it late in the day or in the evening. Whatever that is, there's a pocket there for you to do it. And it's truly life-changing when you truly commit to that schedule, not just because you're gonna get results, but because there is such a gift that comes psychologically from saying, I stepped into this version of myself where I made a commitment to this schedule, and it just accelerates the formation of that identity of being a healthy and fit person who truly prioritizes this in their life. So there's just such a psychological benefit to it as well. That's hack number 8. Hack number 9 is one of my favorites, and it's getting creative and really leaning into very low calorie or 0 calorie beverages. Now, I have been very open about the fact that I am not afraid to drink a good old double XL Diet Pepsi or a Diet Mountain Dew or some other kind of diet pop. I'm not going to get super deep into the weeds here. There's tons of people that are going to say that I'm poisoning myself. The industry is really coming around. The whole weight loss industry is really coming around to the fact that these are not only are they not really a risk to our health, but they're a huge asset when it comes to being able to lose weight. But even beyond that, one of my favorite things to do is to really lean into things like sugar-free, 0 calorie or low calorie water flavorings. So, or just beverage flavorings in general. This is a Skinny Mixes cherry syrup. And what I will do is I will toss some ice in a little cup like this. I will put 2 or 3 squirts of this cherry syrup in here, and then I'll combine it with some Diet Pepsi, and now I have this amazing tasting cherry Coke that's more like, a Steak and Shake cherry Coke or something like that, more so than just popping open a can of cherry Coke. It just tastes better. Another one of my favorite things to do is to make margaritas or macaritas. So I will take a can of diet tonic water and I'll throw some of that into my glass with a couple packets of Splenda, and then I'll mix that with a very low calorie light margarita mix. And there I have essentially a 0 or a very, very low calorie macarita that tastes amazing. Sometimes I'll even make a strawberry version of that. And I don't have any right now, but I'll use like a strawberry Crystal Light flavoring packet to make a strawberry macarita. And this, I cannot underscore how impactful this can be. I have one client in my program right now. Her name's Ashley. She's lost 250 pounds. And she's had all sorts of medical issues throughout her journey that she's been struggling with long before she ever came into our program. But those medical issues prevent her from being able to be active. So she can't walk 8,000 steps a day. She's lucky if she can get 3,000 or 2,000 steps a day because of her medical limitations. And so for her, she's had to get super creative with how to hit a calorie deficit to lose massive amounts of weight without being active. And one of the things that has allowed her to lose 250 pounds and keep it off has been really leaning into these options. She is one of the most creative people I know when it comes to coming up with all sorts of creative, super tasty, low and no calorie beverage options. And then she shares those in our program and in our community for all of the other clients and all the other members. And it's just so amazing. So I can't emphasize how impactful this can be. It can just really squash your appetite, squash your cravings, and to really help you to not feel super munchy and that you have to snack on food or eat all the time. So if you're someone who likes to fast, you can really lean on things like this to control your appetite and your cravings, and it'll really allow you to lower your calorie intake, make a calorie deficit much more sustainable, and it can help you if you're not able to be very active as well. Coming back to the desk to finish this out, number 10 is what I call the divide and devour method. And this is a method for ordering in restaurants, because here's the thing. When you're on a weight loss journey or maintaining the weight you've already lost, you're not just eating at home. You're gonna be going out, you're gonna be going to restaurants, you're gonna be doing traveling and going on vacations. You're gonna need to learn how to eat at restaurants in a way that is totally doable and not stressful. And so the divide and devour method is how I teach my clients to do that. And it's super simple. And you can use it in any restaurant, drive-through or sit-down restaurant that has calories on the menu. And it's very simple. You simply look at the options on the menu. Step one is you find an option that looks decently healthier. Like, I recommend that you don't start with chicken tenders and fries. Start with something that's a little bit healthier looking. But the goal is to take the total calories listed for the dish and to divide it into the number of portions necessary to make sure that you're eating a portion that's around 400 or 600 calories, ideally. So if you go into a restaurant, I'll pop up an option here on the screen. One of the common options that I look at is this one from Applebee's. This bowl, I think it's like a Southwest chicken bowl, is listed as 800 calories on the menu. So if I want to go into Applebee's with a 400 calorie meal slot, then I could go in and I could order this and I could just eat half and take half home to eat later. And I know immediately, without having to really think about it or stress about it, I know now that I've got this meal that is portioned in such a way that it's gonna fit my day. Or I could go in, if maybe I'm going in with 600 calories to play with, I could go in and say, okay, I'm gonna find a 1,200 calorie meal, or maybe there's a 600 calorie meal on the menu, and I can find that 600 calorie meal on the menu and eat the whole thing. Or I could find a 1,200 calorie meal menu item, and I could eat half and take half home. So the goal is, a general rule of thumb is for a standard meal block, if you're on a weight loss journey, is around 400 calories is a good goal for calories for a meal. 600 would be like combining a meal and a snack together. So if you go into a restaurant, typically I'm looking for a meal that's going to be between 400 calories, 600 calories, or on the high end 800 calories if I'm taking 2 meal blocks for the day and combining them or saving them for a restaurant meal. And so that's it. That's the divide and devour method. You know, you're looking for 400, 600, or 800 calorie meals. And essentially, if you go into a meal with 1 meal block to spare, you're shooting for a portion that's 400 calories. If you're going to combine one of your meal blocks and a snack block for the day together, find something that is portioned to 600 calories. And if you're going to save 2 meal blocks for a restaurant meal, then find something that is portioned at around 800 calories and you're solid. Divide, devour, super easy, and you're golden, right? It makes eating in restaurants so freaking easy. I think not having a lot of these very useful hacks that you can use is a reason why so many people start and stop and start and stop all the time. They lose 10, 15, 20 pounds, and then it all falls apart and they gain that back and usually a little bit more. And they just repeat that cycle over and over and over again. And they keep resetting every Monday or resetting every month. And so I just hosted a masterclass last week called the Your Last Reset Masterclass. It was a free masterclass. It was an amazing event. It really was probably the best event that I've ever held in my entire life. And what I'm going to do for you guys who actually watched this far in the video is I'm going to make the recording to that video available to you, as well as the bonuses that I gave away on that masterclass. So if you go down into the description, I'll put a link down there to the recording for the Your Last Reset Masterclass. You can go down there, grab it. It's totally free. I'm telling you, it's an amazing event. And if you're someone who's been just constantly resetting every Monday or every few weeks and you're tired and you just want to break that cycle, I guarantee you cannot watch that event and not walk away feeling empowered and inspired to make this your last reset and to just really kick it into high gear and to do this thing. So if you're interested in that, the link is down in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Remember, I told you that my wife, Joni, comes home on her lunch to walk? Look, proof that I wasn't lying. Say hi.
Hi.
She's getting her steps in.